grind is out to see the song. We'll be making these tunes until the weed is gone. We sonic boom, keep the metaphor going. From the farm to the lab, but you already know it. Another season from the seed to the bong. It's a never-ending cycle, so we never stop growing. Check the style, y'all, I've never been a clone. Cali dad, I got a style on my own. I live in the forest, no shortage on trees. Got a jar in every drawer full of foliage. OG, cooling with my homies on a Saturday. Up in the studio, no matter what the forecast. Gotta let the angels out, don't listen to.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? Back at you with another video. On today, this is Raw Detroit. Make sure you hit that subscription button, subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and hit the word all so that you may be able to receive every notification that comes from the channel. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to talk about Aidan Hutchinson, Brad Holmes, and the defensive line of the Detroit Lions, because it's time to talk about it. It's time to have a conversation. It's time to sit down at the table. It's time to do a lot of things, man. We got to talk about what's really going on in Detroit and what's stopping this team from getting to the next level. I'm telling you guys, I've been saying this for years, and if you do not believe what I've been saying, go back and check out all of my Brad Holmes videos. You go even look at the video that I did on Aidan Hutchinson a few months ago before the season even started, when I talked about the Lions banking on Hutch. Go look at that video as well. Go into the archives, find every Brad Holmes video and listen to it, because I've been on this and I got receipts and I've been on this thing for a long time. It just wasn't today that I've been on this thing. I've been on this thing for a long time, saying that the Detroit Lions need to build a defense around Aidan Hutchinson. This team has to be built around their best defensive player, and that's Hutch, man. And I want to give Hutch a shout out. He came back from a severe leg injury, and this dude almost has 10 sacks on the season. So shout out to Hutch for going out there balling and giving us his all, man. I don't got no complaints with Hutch. I know that he's a dog. I know he's going to give it his all. I understand why he got paid the big top dollars, because he's that dude on our team. We don't have anybody else that can get to the quarterback on this team outside of Aidan McNeil. You know, before Aidan got hurt, Aidan McNeil and Aidan Hutchinson was the only pass rush that we had. We didn't really have any other guys getting at the quarterback like that. You know, it wasn't Josh Pascal. It wasn't Levi getting to the quarterback. It was a lot of these guys that we had at defensive tackle. Even DJ Reader, he's not even getting to the quarterback like that. A lot of these defensive tackles that we have, Talik Williams, Roy Lopez, I think Roy Lopez has 1 sack. But if you look outside of Aidan McNeil and Aidan Hutchinson, this year it would be Al-Qadim Muhammad. Al-Qadim Muhammad has 6 sacks on the season, but he's been MIA for a minute. So we don't know where Al-Qadim Muhammad has disappeared to. So it's pretty much letting you know that he is not a starting caliber defensive end. He's more like a rotational guy. And then we know that Marcus Davenport has 1 sack at the beginning of the season, and he's been gone for a lot of games. And he finally came back against Green Bay again, and this time he did not get a sack. So all of your production is coming from Aidan Hutchinson. You're not getting to the quarterback outside of Aidan Hutchinson right now. Al-Qadim Muhammad was getting to the quarterback, but, you know, that's past tense now. So now we got to look at this thing for what it really is. Brad Holmes had every opportunity to get Aidan Hutchinson some help. Brad Holmes pretty much mocked the fan base this season. And I'm not saying, let's put it on the record, guys. I'm not saying that Brad Holmes should be fired. I am not saying that at all. Brad Holmes does not deserve to be fired. Brad Holmes has done a wonderful job. And if you think about it, really, he's hit 50-50. Some guys he's hit on, some guys he has not hit on. Some guys he's done a great job, but I got to say his free agency has not been the greatest in the world. He doesn't really think outside of the box when it comes to the free agency, because you can use the free agency as well as a way to get better. You just don't have to use the draft to get better. Now, yes, you want to build your team with the draft, and I totally understand that. As a GM, you definitely want to use the draft to build your team. But when you need key components on your team, you have to figure out how to get those components on the team. You got to figure out what pieces is missing. As a GM, that is your job. to scale the depth chart or look at the depth chart. I know he made mention about the depth chart and stuff like that, and you know, man, you got to look at your depth chart. You got to see what you really need on this team, and everybody knows it. Everybody in the NFL knows it. Everybody that's a Detroit Lions fan knows it, that the Detroit Lions need another edge outside of Aidan Hutchinson. Yes, this year we're struggling on the offensive line. And, you know, we have drafted so many different linemen that you would think that this thing would have worked out and panned out by now. But it looks like we're going to have to go back to the drawing board on some of these linemen because some of these guys are not just panning out. You know, I know Sorsdale, he got hurt this season. And then Taylor Decker's been in and out. And then we know that Frank Ragnow at the beginning of the season retired, and he tried to come back. And pretty much he will not be able to come back because of he has a hamstring injury still. That pretty much, that hamstring, if you want to look at it, is pretty much off the bone. If you really want to look at it, it's a grade 3 hamstring injury. So there's so many things that's going on with the Detroit Lions where it's so hard to focus on what really the problem is, but it's a lot of things going on. A lot of guys been getting banged up and hurt this year. A lot of guys haven't gone to the next level in their play. Terrion has been in and out of the lineup as a corner. We definitely thought that he was going to take off a little bit this season. And he has some good moments and he has some bad moments, but now the season is pretty much over with Terrion Arnold. So what do the Lions do at corner now? Because Terrion is decent, but should they draft another corner? I'm going to say yes, because you can't trust Enos Rexstraw either. He's been hurt for the last 2 seasons. And then we got DJ Reed as well that's been a part of the team. So, and then the secondary's been banged up. It's been a lot going on with the Detroit Lions. Kirby Joseph has been hurt this season. Brian Branch is, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Brian Branch has just been, he's not been his regular self. We know that he's a all-pro caliber, all-star pro safety type of player, but he's just not been himself this season. So the main thing that we really want to look at that the Lions have been neglecting for a long time is the defensive line when it comes to the edge position. We've been saying this and saying it and saying it until, you know what I'm saying, we can't say it anymore. Brad Holmes has to address this defensive line. He has not done it. He continues to neglect it. And that's the reason why we can't get to the quarterback. When you get in the postseason, that's when your stars come up and they make big plays. And normally that's when you see defense earning their money because they're going after the quarterback. And that's one thing that the Detroit Lions can't do. In the last game, we really couldn't get after the quarterback. Aidan Hutchinson didn't sack the quarterback to the last, maybe almost the last play of the game almost in overtime, sacking the quarterback. So at times, Hutch, he does struggle and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying, because he is getting double teamed and he's getting chipped a lot and stuff like that. And sometimes he struggles with his one-on-ones, but at the same time, he's our best pass rusher that we have on the team. He's not on Myles Garrett level yet. Hutch is not. We got to keep it a hundo. He's not on the level of Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is a flat-out dog, and that's what we need on the other side of Hutch. We need a dog, and I'm not saying that that dog got to be elite. I'm not saying that that dog got to be better than Aidan Hutchinson, but we need another player that can get to the quarterback. When you look at the Houston Texans, and they got Will Anderson Jr. and they got Danielle Hunter, both of those guys, respectively, 11 sacks, 10 sacks on the season. That's what we want to see. We want to see some production on the defensive line. We're not getting it from any of these other guys that's on our team. We're not. We're not getting anything from anybody else on the defensive line. Talik Williams, he's disappeared. He can't give you a pass rush. None of these defensive tackles that we got on our league, not on our league, but on our team, can get to the quarterback like that, besides Aleem McNeil. And we know that we got to excuse Aleem McNeil because he's just coming back from injury. So I'm not going to fault Aleem McNeil because he's just coming back. But at the same time, We have to recognize that Aidan Hutchinson is not Myles Garrett. He is a very good defensive end, and he's our dog on our team. He's what we need on our team. But we know even when Hutch was at Michigan, he had another dude that was getting sacks with him, and that was David Ajabo. You remember that. You remember before Hutch was drafted for the Detroit Lions, he had David Ajabo on the other side getting sacks with him. Hutch needs another guy on the other side. I don't know how many times we're going to have to keep saying this, Brad Holmes. I don't know how many times the media has to keep saying it to you, but we need an edge, and it's not going to go away until you handle it. It's not going to go away. You try to do it with a 6th-round pick. That's not going to work. You're going to have to draft a guy in the 1st or the 2nd round. You're going to have to. We need a flat-out pass rusher that can get to the quarterback and cause havoc on Sundays. Hutch cannot do it by himself. Sometimes Hutch struggles, and we understand because he's doing it all. So sometimes there's going to be games where he struggles. There's going to be times that he can't get to the quarterback. Even Myles Garrett, who had 3 sacks in the game like a week before last, he got help from his teammates, and they had like 10 sacks on the day. He's not doing it all, but even though he's not doing it all, Myles Garrett is still a dog. He got 19 sacks on the season. 19, guys. And he very well could break the record this season for the most sacks in the NFL single season. So I know that Aidan Hutchinson is not on the level of Myles Garrett. And then when it comes to Micah Parsons, you know what I'm saying? Micah Parsons, if you check the record on him, every single season, Michael Parsons has been double-digit sacks. From his rookie year all the way to now, this dude has been double-digit sacks every single season. That's consistency, man. And that's what you want to see. And definitely, we know if Hutch didn't get hurt last year, who knows if Hutch would have broke the record last year. Hutch was on a roll. But then all of a sudden, he ends up getting hurt. And then now, when he was on a roll, I mean, what can you do now? You can't do anything. So, you know what I'm saying? Hutch gets hurt. We don't have the pass rush like we thought we would. Outside of Hutch, nobody else can get to the quarterback. So I'm not going to fault Aidan Hutchinson for what's going on with the Detroit Lions because it's not his fault. It's not. We have to put everything on our GM because our GM is the one that's supposed to bring the talent on the team. He's supposed to booster this roster. He's supposed to be able to put the missing pieces on his team. That's Brad Holmes' job. And he needs to do his job. I'm not saying that Brad Holmes needs to be fired. I'm not going to say that at all. He doesn't need to be fired. He just needs to do his job. If Howie Roseman understands that you need a pass rush, and he was going after Myles Garrett. Howie Roseman for the Philadelphia Eagles was not satisfied with his pass rush, and he was going after Myles Garrett. And he wanted to go after Micah Parsons as well. So I know that next year is going to be crazy because we got to figure out what we're going to do. And Brad Holmes got a lot of homework to do. But at the same time, until we are able to get somebody to play on the other side of Aidan Hutchinson, man, Brad Holmes, you got to stop this, man, with this elite stuff and all this type of stuff. We ain't saying that the guy got to be elite. We just saying that the dude got to know how to get to the quarterback. We ain't even saying that he got to be elite. So you can't put that in our mouths as fans and say that, yeah, he has to be elite like Aidan Hutchinson. No, we're saying he needs to get out to the quarterback like Aidan Hutchinson. Aidan is a dog. And I love Aidan Hutchinson. I love what he brings to the table. You know what I'm saying? Consider him coming off a severe leg injury like this. I didn't even think that he would even get to this many sacks. But he's out there balling and he's showing what he can do, even, you know what I'm saying, even when he doesn't have the help. So Brad Holmes, is your job to be able to beef this team up and get this defensive line in shape in 2026. You got to. It is a must that Aidan Hutchinson gets another defensive end on the other side of him Because if not, if he doesn't get that defensive end, you're going to be singing the same song and dance next year. Leave it in the comment section, guys. What do you think? Who's at fault for the Detroit Lions' lack of pass rush? All right, peace.